3 years ago, I had exactly $1,000, and no, I didn't live in a fancy apartment or have a six-figure job. I lived in a rented room, ate instant noodles 3 times a week, and my bank account was consistently under $200 after paying for electricity, rent, and living. I knew nothing about investing. All I knew was this: if I didn't start doing something with this small amount of money, I would forever be stuck in a cycle of making money, spending it, and starting over again. And so, I decided to try. I didn't bet. I didn't go all in on coins or meme stocks. I took a different approach that was incredibly boring, incredibly slow, but surprisingly effective. 3 years later, I looked back at my investment account, and that $1,000 had turned into $4,200. No magic, no luck, just a small strategy repeated over and over again. And today, I'm going to tell you the whole story. I'll be honest, a lot fewer people are able to invest and keep their money for 3 years than you think, and it's not because they're not smart, it's because they fall into the same psychological traps that almost everyone else has fallen into, including me. Have you ever heard this? I only have $100, why bother investing? I used to think exactly the same thing, but here's the truth: no one gets rich before investing. They invest and then get rich. It's not about the amount of money, it's about the mindset of accumulation, and you can never build a house without starting from the first brick. Some people say, I'm waiting for the market to stabilize. I'm waiting for interest rates to drop. I'm waiting for my bonus next month and then I'll invest. You know what happens? They wait and wait and wait. 3 years later, my $1,000 investment is worth $4,200, and they're still waiting. Have you ever seen this? Someone on TikTok says, this stock will definitely double. A KOL says, I put all my money into crypto XYZ, you should too. And so everyone rushes in, no understanding, no plan, no exit, only one thing, emotion, and then when the market turns red, panic. Sell off. Loss. Give up. This scenario repeats itself a million times. This is the biggest trap. Everyone wants to be rich and want it right away, by today, expecting a 10% increase tomorrow. If you see a slow increase, switch to another code. If you don't make a profit in a week, withdraw immediately. Investing is not a one-night thing. It is a long game, for those who are persistent and have a plan. I used to be like that too. Today I read an article saying to buy ETFs. Buy. Next week I see someone else talking about tech stocks. Sell ETFs. Buy tech. Next month I go back to crypto. And the result? My account goes in circles. No increase. No decrease. But it takes time. It loses motivation. Investing without a strategy is like setting sail without a map. All it takes is one big wave to lose your way. Bad news, fear, sell, bullish market, FOMO. By the top, someone's making a big profit. Compare, change strategies. Every time you react emotionally, you lose the most important thing in investing: consistency. I envy you. Know what's funny? Most people give up before their account starts to really grow. They invest for 6 months. They see a 5% return. Oh crap. What kind of return is this? They withdraw their money, move on to something else, then 6 months later they look back and their account has doubled if they kept it that way. Growth takes time, and most of us don't have the patience to wait. I don't have the perfect answer, but I do have a true story. I'm a completely normal person who got away with those mistakes. I started with $1,000. I learned to be disciplined, put my emotions aside, and follow a plan. 3 years later, I'm not a millionaire, but I turned $1,000 into $4,200, and most importantly, I know how to repeat it. If you think I have a grand plan, a super optimized investing system, or deep knowledge. No, when I started, I had $1,000 and a fear that if I did nothing with it, I would spend it all again. Fear that I would spend my entire life working but never escape the cycle of work, get paid, pay bills, run out of money, start over. I was so tired of that feeling. Make this $1,000 work. Even if it's a little, it has to be real, not fast. Not a lot. But steady, safe, and sustainable. I didn't study finance. I don't have anyone in my family who invests, but I started searching YouTube, Google, Reddit for one thing: what to do with $1,000 as a beginner. The result? Too much advice. Someone said buy Bitcoin, some said save it, some said buy Apple stock. I was overwhelmed. But then I read an article that said this: most beginners give up because they make things too complicated. Start with something so simple that you can't fail. I looked into ETFs as a way to invest in a large group of companies, rather than picking individual companies. No need to research individual stocks, no need to guess the market, no need to turn on the computer every day. As I read, I thought, this is for me. VTI means investing in the entire US stock market. I don't need to know which companies are up today, which companies are down. I just need to know, if the US grows, VTI grows. If the economy grows, so does my account. I buy the first 3 stocks, the rest I save for the next purchase. Every month, I set aside a portion of my income, no matter how small, to buy more VTI. In months when I have money, I buy more. In months when I have less money, I buy less, but I never skip a month, and the best thing? I set it to auto buy, no need to decide. No need to remember. No need to watch the price. Instead of asking, is the market up or down today? I asked myself, have I invested enough this month? How much do I have left over to buy more? I stopped watching financial news every day. I stopped comparing myself to others. I began to see investing wasn't as stressful as I thought it was. There were times when my account was down 5%, then 10%. I started to panic. I was about to pull out, but I remembered what I had learned: when prices go down, you get a discount. And I had bought more. It was during the times when the market went down that I persisted in investing, which is why my account grew so much when the market recovered. I'm not a genius. I don't have insider info. I don't beat the market. I just did one thing. I had a strategy and I stuck to it for 3 years. I didn't stop halfway. I didn't get caught up in trends. I didn't try to find good deals. I invested like I brush my teeth, every day, at the same time, without thinking. And then 3 years later the magic happened. When I reopened my account after a year and a half, I was shocked. The money had almost doubled. After 3 years, from $1,000, my account is now at $4,200, not a retirement number, but living proof. Small investments, invested correctly, still produce real results. Now you know my story, but I know what you really want is the specific how to. You want to know what apps I use, how much do I invest, how do I allocate. Without further ado, here is the entire strategy one used step by step. I didn't start with a complicated platform, no margin, no flashing charts, no casino feel. I chose a user-friendly investment app that can automatically invest on a monthly schedule. In the US, you can choose Fidelity no transaction fees ETF, Vanguard long-standing reputation, ideal for long-term investing, Charles Schwab also very easy to use, supports recurring investing, or apps like M1 Finance, automated investing, percentage-based investing. I chose Fidelity because it was simple, easy to link to a bank account, and could buy fractional shares. I don't try to predict which companies will rise. I don't pick individual stocks because I don't have time to analyze. I don't want to watch the price chart every day, and I can't handle the emotions of a big drop. I picked 3 ETFs and invested them consistently. 1. VTI All US Stocks. 2. SCHD ETF Dividend, Growth, and Steady Cash. 3. UVX US International, which gives me global diversification. My initial allocation, VTI, 60%, SCHD, 25%, VXUS, 15%, I leave 5 to 10% in cash to buy when the market drops. I set up an auto transfer from my bank account to Fidelity every month, $300 on payday. Then I set up an auto invest with the correct VTI/SCHD/VXUS ratio. The result? I don't have to think every month. I'm not tempted by the market. I invest consistently, regardless of whether the market is green or red. The DCA, dollar cost averaging effect, helps me buy at a good average price and avoid going all in when the market is too high. At first, I would open the app and check. Every time my account went down $20, I was nervous. Every time it went up $50, I was elated. Then I realized emotions were driving me, not strategy. So I set a rule: only check my account at the end of each quarter, record my balance without emotion, adjust if my income changes. This helps me stay mentally stable, not be affected by short-term fluctuations, focus on work and life. Investing $300 a month consistently wasn't easy at first. I didn't increase my income right away. Instead, I cut back on my expenses, cut Netflix, go YouTube free, drink coffee at home, save $100 per month, buy secondhand gear, save $200 to $300/year, cancel expensive gym membership, switch to outdoor running. I didn't live a miserable life. I just prioritized the future over the present, and I have no regrets. I repeat to myself every month, I'm not investing to win in 3 days, I'm investing to win in 30 years. Every time the market drops, I buy more. Every time someone says, the market is going to crash, I stick to my strategy. I'm not better than anyone else, I'm just more consistent. I remember that moment very clearly. 3 years ago, I was a very different version of myself. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I didn't have enough savings to feel secure. Every time my car broke down, my electric bill went up, or I needed to go to the doctor, I was scared. I always felt like one unexpected thing would ruin my life. I used to think, making money is easy, keeping it is hard, but in reality, I never gave my money a place to grow. I earn morning coffee every day. $5 x 30 equals $150 per month. Food delivery, $12 to $15 per meal, at least 3 times/week. Buy tech stuff because I like it, don't need it. Every month, nothing left after spending. I don't have a financial goal. I think, well, I'll make up for it next month. But next month is no different than last month. Stressed out every time I opened a bank account. Never felt like I had enough money. Jealous when others talked about investing. Thought, well, investing probably isn't for me. I found myself always being passive with money, and that brought with it all the other negative emotions in my life. Not because I'm rich, not because I won a meme stock or a coin that went up 10x, but because I know I'm on the right track. Investment account went from $1,000 to over $4,200. I have a separate $2,000 emergency fund I can spend without feeling guilty. I know my money is working while I sleep. I am not afraid of the market anymore. I understand how it works. I don't panic when my account goes down. I see opportunities to buy more. I don't feel like I'm lacking. I feel like I'm accumulating. I have a goal. Reach $25,000 by 30. I feel more confident, not just with money, but with myself. Before, I worked just to live. Now, I work with a clear goal, financial freedom. I no longer surf the internet to shop because I'm bored. I don't need to prove anything to anyone through expensive items. I spend time reading financial books, learning about FIRE, financial independence, retire early, and I feel like I have the right to dream. I started dreaming about retiring early, living where I want, traveling without checking room rates, doing the job I love without the money. If you're still watching this video, I just want to say one thing: thank you, because you're not just watching an investing video, you're taking the time to seriously think about your financial future, and that is the first step I've ever taken. I would tell myself, Don't wait until you have it all figured out. Don't wait until you have a lot of money. Start today with a small amount and trust the process. Because it's the small steps that add up to big results. 1. Investing is not a game of chance, it is a skill that can be learned. The more you learn, the less afraid you are. 2. You don't need a lot of money, you need time. Time discipline equals formula for success. 3. Emotions are the number one enemy. Investing doesn't require you to be smart, it requires you to be calm and persistent. 4. Spending less doesn't make you miserable, it makes you freer. Saving is power, not sacrifice. 5. Action beats all plans. You can read 100 books, but if you don't invest a penny, you're still standing still. Choose a simple investing platform. Start with $5, $10, or whatever you have. Pick an ETF you trust and invest every month. Set up automatic investing. No market watching. Be persistent even when things seem slow. I know the feeling. You're afraid of making the wrong investment. You're afraid of losing money. You're afraid of I'm not smart enough for this. But trust me, you don't have to be perfect to start. You just have to start, and then, step by step, you'll get better. You don't have to invest like Warren Buffett. You just have to invest like someone who's committed to you. Here's the truth. The perfect time doesn't exist, but the action you take today will create a perfect future. The earlier you start, the more you give yourself time, the most powerful element in investing. If my story gives you a glimmer of hope, a little motivation, or just a new idea, get started right after this video. Open an investment account, set up an automatic schedule, even if it's just $20 per month, do it. And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe to Money_VSQ, and share this video with a friend who was struggling with money like I was. You are not alone. And you can absolutely change your financial life.